Some young actors are magnetic on screen, making their mark in film history before they're old enough to drive. And then they grow up and things change, sometimes by a lot. During their dad's 2 terms in the White House, first kids Sasha and Malia Obama have transformed from cute tweens to sophisticated fashion icons right before our eyes. Let's take a look back at some of their greatest moments in sister style. The future first family looked perfectly put together in rich magenta hues at the 2008 Democratic National Convention. This event marked the beginning of the Obama family's presidential journey. At the time, Sasha and Malia were just 7 and 10 years old respectively, yet they already exhibited the style and grace of seasoned political pros. For Barack Obama's first presidential inauguration in January 2009, the Obama sisters stepped out in colorful wool coats and winter accessories designed especially for them by J. Crew. Malia looked elegant in sapphire blue, while Sasha appeared age-appropriate in tones of orange and pink. Following the inauguration, J. Crew's stocks jumped 10%, according to the New York Times, and its website temporarily crashed due to the overwhelming volume of traffic looking to mimic the first family's style. Nearly 2 years into Obama's first term, 9-year-old Sasha and 12-year-old Malia continued to epitomize elegance in and around Washington, D.C. Notice the sibling sophistication during their visit to St. John's Episcopal Church, known as the Church of the Presidents, on September 19, 2010. The Obama sisters dazzled on stage in 2011 for the 30th annual Christmas in Washington concert held at the National Building Museum. Joined by plenty of music celebrities including Justin Bieber and Jennifer Hudson, Sasha and Malia stood out from the A-list lineup in stunning holiday frocks. Malia, 13, looked all grown up in a mustard yellow satin dress with bell sleeves by Elizabeth and James, and Sasha, 10, appeared lovely in lavender. Sasha and Malia appeared at the 2012 Democratic National Convention looking poised and oh so sophisticated. Gone were the doll-like pink dresses of their first inauguration. For this occasion, Malia, 14, continued to prove she is the spitting image of her mother in a chic blue dress by H&M and ballet flats. Sasha solidified her standing as the most fashionable 11-year-old in the world in a printed dress by Anthropology paired with a studded yellow belt and silver flats.
And yes, you do have to go to school in the morning.
At the start of President Obama's second term in office, it was remarkable to witness just how much the first daughters had grown up in 4 short years. Entering the inaugural ceremony in complimentary coats, Malia wore J. Crew while Sasha opted for Kate Spade. In March 2016, Malia and Sasha Obama attended their first state dinner at the White House, wearing embroidered Naeem Khan gowns worth nearly $20,000 apiece, as People reported. It was crystal clear to everyone at the event that these little girls were growing up fast.
When I was first elected to this office, Malia was 10. And Sasha was just 7. And they grow up too fast.
President Obama got a bit emotional while discussing his daughters at the event.
This fall, Malia heads off to college, and I'm starting to choke up. So I'm gonna wind it was in my remarks.
After graduating from Sidwell Friends School in June 2019, Sasha Obama quietly enrolled as a student at the University of Michigan. Although her transition to college surely had its atypical experiences, Obama continues to have a typical college life. In October 2020, she made headlines after an unnamed friend posted a since-deleted TikTok video of the two dancing and lip-syncing to Moneybagg Yo's Said Some remix featuring the City Girls. Sasha's appearance in the video caused a bizarre uproar among critics, while others came to her defense, according to the Daily Mail. Obama made headlines again in December 2020 after Meffita magazine's Twitter account shared a photo of a woman who seemingly resembled her. In the photo in question, the woman is wearing a crop top that reveals a rib tattoo and bikini bottoms. The photo sparked debate about whether or not it was the former first daughter, based on the matching necklaces appearing similar to the ones she wore from the deleted TikTok videos. In the meantime, celebrities such as Mina Harris and Jamila Jamil have come to Obama's defense about the headlines. Although the public seemingly hasn't gotten used to Obama showing more personality, people fail to remember that she's all grown up now and has adopted her own individual style. When we were first introduced to Sasha Obama in 2009, she was just a little girl who walked alongside her parents in dresses and skirts. A far cry from her time in the White House, Obama has, in recent years, settled for a more casual, informal style, which we saw a lot of in 2022. On one occasion, the youngest Obama sported a white t-shirt, a multicolored sweater, and denim overalls. To finish off the look, she opted for a colourful pair of sneakers and tote bag, while keeping accessories minimal. When she's not dressed in the customary Gen Z attire, Obama isn't afraid to go bohemian. However, Obama's style isn't the only thing that has evolved with time, as she has seemingly developed a strong sense of self. Going against her mother's initial reservations about tattoos, Sasha was seen sporting a hot air balloon inked at the back of her arm in October 2022. A few months later, Michelle Obama admitted that she had changed her stance on tattoos. She said on The Kelly Clarkson Show,
"Yeah, most kids who are wearing tattoos and piercings, they've got long nails, their value system is about individuality."
After a few semesters at the University of Michigan, Sasha Obama transferred to the University of Southern California to study psychology. Unsurprisingly, Sasha moved to Los Angeles, where she shared an apartment with her older sister, Malia. In addition to living together, the sisters have also gradually warmed up to adult responsibilities. In her book, The Light We Carry, Michelle described how Malia and Sasha live within their means, often thrifting items and shopping from affordable stores. And in perhaps their most grown-up move yet, the Obama sisters reportedly once hosted their parents in their home. Michelle recalled during an appearance on Today,
"We were going to take them to dinner, and they said, why don't you come over to our spot for cocktails?" And we were like, okay, let's see what this is going to be like.
A fun moment, no doubt, except according to the former First Lady, the martinis they were served were not so great. Michelle added,
I don't think they really knew what it was. Yeah.
During an April 2022 appearance on The Ellen DeGeneres Show, Michelle Obama revealed Sasha Obama was in a relationship, telling the host about her daughters. They loved the Jonas Brothers. Now they are bringing grown men home. Before it was just like pop bands. Now they have boyfriends and real lives. A few days later, the Daily Mail confirmed that the youngest Obama was dating Clifton Powell Jr., son of Hollywood actor Clifton Powell. According to the outlet, Sasha met Powell Jr. shortly after her move to LA and soon struck up a romantic relationship. A former college basketball player, Powell Jr., like his father, has his eyes set on a creative career. But even though Powell Jr. isn't on the same exact path as his father, he can still rely on the actor for solid advice. Speaking on his son's relationship with Sasha, Powell Sr. gave his stamp of approval to the young lovebirds. He also shared some of the relationship advice he gave his son, telling the Dear Fathers podcast, "So it has helped me talk to Chris about how to handle Sasha Obama, because we love the Obamas. But Mr. Obama has a daughter that's dating my son, and I have an opportunity and a responsibility to make my son responsible, gentle, kind, loving, and supportive." Barack Obama might have been the most powerful leader in the world, but to Sasha Obama, he was simply dad, and that meant they did not always get along. Speaking on Glennon Doyle's We Can Do Hard Things podcast, Michelle Obama opened up about her daughter's relationship with their father. While Malia Obama reportedly always got along fine with Barack Obama, the same cannot be said for Sasha. Michelle said, "Sasha's totally like, don't touch me, don't look my way, I don't need to please you, you're annoying." He got a lot of that, and he was stunned, and I would tell him, she's gonna come around. We might have to call the former First Lady a seer because, as she predicted, Barack and Sasha's relationship improved. The former First Lady explained,
They just got off the phone last night. Yeah, she called him looking for advice, and it just took her longer.
But Sasha's relationship with Barack isn't the only thing that's improved, as she has also seemingly gotten closer to her sister. Michelle Obama told People, "I think they become even closer now that they're out on the other side. But yeah, it makes me feel really, really good. Not just that they're living together, but they're thriving together. And they're thriving on their own as individual young women."
Melania and Donald Trump married on January 22, 2005 in Palm Beach, Florida. While Donald already had children from his 2 previous marriages, the couple welcomed their first son and Melania's first child on March 20, 2006. Interestingly, Barron Trump was a U.S. citizen before his mother was, seeing as he was born in New York City. Melania, who hails from Slovenia, didn't become a citizen until July 2006, after landing a green card in 2001. Melania and Donald have always made headlines for their unique relationship. Say what you will about Donald's political views, but the couple certainly seems to take each other in stride. In 2005, Trump told Larry King on CNN that there's nothing like having children, but added that's only the case if you have the money. Trump's perspective on daddy duties, though?
I'm not going to be doing the diapers. I'm not going to be making the food. I may never even see the kids, frankly.
No, yo.
Okay? No, she will be an unbelievable mother. I'll be a good father.
What does Melania think about Donald's disinterest in being a hands-on dad? In a 2012 interview with Parenting, she said of her husband, "He didn't change diapers, and I'm completely fine with that. It's very important to know the person you're with, and we know our roles." Barron Trump was baptized in the same church where his parents got married the year before. He received the sacrament on December 8, 2006 in Palm Beach, Florida, at the Episcopal Church of Bethesda by the Sea. Melania's parents and sister were present, as were Donald's children and 5 bodyguards, according to People. Donald himself is Presbyterian. Interestingly, Melania's religious beliefs were unknown for much of her public life. But after her visit to the Vatican in 2017, where she and Donald met with Pope Francis, the world discovered that she is Catholic. In fact, during the visit, the Pope blessed her rosary, a set of beads Catholics use to say a devotional prayer. She was dressed entirely in black and wore a black veil for the visit. While extremely private about her faith, this wasn't the first time that Melania's life was influenced by her Catholic background. Although her wedding was held in an Episcopal church, she walked down the aisle to the song Ave Maria while holding a rosary. While Barron's baptism was also in the Episcopal Church, it's unclear how much of his upbringing was shaped by either parent's religion. For Melania, though, it's evident that religion is deeply significant to her. After the papal visit, she wrote on Twitter, "Today's visit with His Holiness Pope Francis is one I'll never forget." Melania Trump obviously thinks highly of Donald Trump and has made this clear throughout their relationship. At the Republican National Convention in 2016, she said of her husband, "He is tough when he has to be, but he is also kind and fair and caring." This kindness is not always noted, but it is there for all to see. That is one reason I fell in love with him to begin with. When Donald was first elected president, the hashtag #FreeMelania went viral. But it eventually became evident that she didn't need any liberation. The two seem to understand each other, and by all accounts are much more united than people give them credit for. This admiration for Donald has melded into the love Melania has for their son, largely because Donald and Barron Trump appear to be so similar. Melania affectionately called her son a very strong-minded boy while speaking to Parenting magazine. She also told the outlet, "Barron is independent and opinionated and knows exactly what he wants." Like Melania, Barron has also always admired his dad. When he was 5 years old, he wanted to be like his father, Melania explained, describing the close bond between the two. She shared that Barron enjoyed building things and drawing as a kid. In light of this, Barron's nickname became Little Donald, since he takes after his father so much. Barron Trump's access to the finer things goes beyond even what we might expect of a child born to a real estate mogul. Comedian Ellen DeGeneres gifted baby Barron a golden stroller that came with a little chandelier that dangled above it, People noted. While the gift might be a bit garish, according to some folks' taste, Melania found it amusing, telling People, "It's fun, it makes you laugh." Barbara Walters sent Barron a massive stuffed dog, per a later publication by People, and he was gifted with onesies sporting the catchphrase made famous by The Apprentice.
You're fired.
When Barron was a little older and had begun speaking, Melania and Donald appeared on CNN with Larry King, who asked if Barron had fired anyone. Melania joked, "He did, yes, actually he did. He fired the housekeeper and nanny many times." Barron's living arrangements as a baby were an education in lavishness. He grew up in the Trump apartment on 5th Avenue in New York City, and according to People, his quarters were on the floor above his parents' bedroom. This space came with a nursery, kitchen, living room, and quarters for a nanny. And if the Trumps were worried about baby noises waking them up, there was no need. Melania told People, "Barron's a very good baby. He's not like a crybaby. He's calm, and it's fantastic." As he grew into a teenager, Barron Trump revealed a love of sports. Melania Trump confirmed this when she spoke at Liberty University in 2018, saying that Barron was all into sports. His team affiliation is notably international, as he was spotted at the White House wearing an Arsenal Football Club jersey, a soccer team hailing from Islington, London, England. He even played on teams in the DC area.
On September 22, 2017, sports writer Pablo Iglesias Maher tweeted that Barron was on the team roster for the DC United Under-12 team, writing, "Barron Trump is playing at RFK tomorrow." No, really. Seriously, not kidding. In light of ongoing injury reports around the NFL, Donald Trump was asked by CBS News' Margaret Brennan whether or not he would allow Barron to play football. Trump responded,
If he wanted to, yes. Would I steer him that way? No, I wouldn't.
Donald went on to add that Barron's real passion is soccer. Donald also said he loves watching football, but confessed that he would have a hard time letting Barron play the game because,
Well, I've heard NFL players saying they wouldn't let their sons play football.
while Donald Trump's famous confession that he never changed Barron Trump's diaper when he was a baby might not compare to a lot of people's parenting experiences, Donald did stress that he liked the hands-on dad approach in other ways. Trump told People in 2006, "I love to feed the baby. Not because I have to, but just because I love it. A lot of times early in the morning, I'll take care of him." Donald explains that he doesn't sleep for long anyway, so it's not a problem, adding, "Over the years, I have changed a diaper, but not on Barron." Melania's response was, "That's my job." While he might not be on diaper duty, it's clear that Donald loves being a father. Trump explained to People, "Melania loves taking care of the baby. If we have more, it will be terrific." As Barron grew up, he became the typical shy teenager, something that came up when Donald was the president. Author Jonathan Karl described an experience in his book Betrayal, the final act of The Trump Show, where Donald spoke to reporter Zeke Miller about Karl himself. Karl quoted Donald as saying, "Jonathan is very cool. He is like my son." Donald then pretended to speak with his son, saying, "Do you love your dad? I don't know. But he does. He's too cool. The kids." Barron Trump's relationship with his mother is vastly more documented than the one he has with Donald Trump. Melania Trump made sure that Barron learned her own mother tongue so as to connect with her and her family. Barron speaks fluent Slovenian, GQ notes, and can converse with his maternal grandparents. As Barron became more of a public figure, thanks to his father's presidency and previous celebrity, the media couldn't help but notice his connection to his mother, since they were so heavily photographed. Barron is often at Melania's side during major events. Furthermore, Melania also puts Barron first, even before political protocol. The Trump family made endless headlines in 2016 for Melania's refusal to bring Barron to the White House directly after Donald's inauguration. Her delay came from a desire to allow Barron to complete the rest of his school year. Barron was only 10 at the time, and Melania wouldn't budge. Barron Trump's arrival at the White House was a novel experience in terms of presidential families. Prior presidents had children living in the White House, but the last few underage occupants were daughters. To find a previous first son who resided there as a child, one has to go all the way back to John F. Kennedy's presidency to land on John F. Kennedy Jr. While Barron certainly got a unique adolescence thanks to his dad's political aspirations, it doesn't look like it was always an easy experience being a kid in the White House. In 2017, when Kathy Griffin created an image of herself holding a severed head of Donald Trump, Barron found the visual traumatizing, and understandably so. He was only 11 at the time, and allegedly was deeply agitated by the photo. Trump shot back with a tweet, "Kathy Griffin should be ashamed of herself. My children, especially my 11-year-old son Barron, are having a hard time with this. Sick."
I went way too far. The image is too disturbing. I understand how it offends people. It wasn't funny. I get it.
In the same year, a writer for Saturday Night Live, Katie Rich, tweeted, "Barron will be this country's first homeschool shooter." This tweet was also met with outrage, both by the White House and those outside of politics. Chelsea Clinton, the daughter of Donald's political rival Hillary Clinton, jumped on Twitter to defend the president's son, writing, "Barron Trump deserves the chance every child does, to be a kid." So what did Barron Trump think about Donald Trump's political life? The young boy was frequently out of the spotlight and obviously never gave interviews. However, enough evidence came forward to show that Barron found his dad to be too hard in some moments. In Donald's debates with President Joe Biden, Barron, who was 14 at the time, felt that his father was too bombastic. According to Molly Hemingway's book, Rigged, How the Media, Big Tech, and the Democrats Seized Our Elections, Donald said, "People thought I was too belligerent. I will say my own son Barron said, 'Dad, you were too tough. You didn't have to keep interrupting him.'" In fact, as Politico notes, Donald's children, as well as Melania Trump herself, urged him to present a more presidential persona ahead of the 2016 election. so as to appear more palatable to the American voter. Trump's older children famously appeared alongside him, both on the campaign trail and in the White House. But Barron stayed out of the spotlight and away from the microphone on account of how young he was. While Donald Trump was president, he received endless vitriol thanks to his contentious views and policies, his handling of the coronavirus pandemic, and the ways in which troubling moments in his past informed the present. Despite the outspokenness towards Donald, there was a unified attitude in the media to protect Barron Trump. After Saturday Night Live writer Katie Rich took things too far with her tweet about Barron being a homeschooled shooter, the unanimous view was to protect him and leave him alone. In an opinion piece for The Observer, Jasmine Ting wrote, "He may be the son of the least popular incoming president in 40 years, but that doesn't justify personally attacking a 10-year-old boy. He is not his father. He's a child. And until he is able to speak for himself as an independent adult, he doesn't deserve any of this." It is worth mentioning that The Observer was owned by Donald's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, at the time, so keep that in mind. However, Ting's opinion wasn't a hard pill to swallow, no matter what one's political allegiances were. On November 9, 2016, when Donald became the president-elect, media footage captured a sleepy Barron as he took in the news with the rest of his family. One Twitter user wrote, "I felt sorry for the lad. I really did. And if he was mine, I would have told him to go to bed or lay down anywhere." Another tweeted, quote, "We are all Barron Trump," seemingly in reference to staying up so late to get the results. Part of the protection of Donald Trump's youngest son has been to keep him out of the public eye as much as possible. But Barron Trump's notable absence from major events during his father's presidency raised some questions. Barron was not with his parents when they left the White House on their last day. In addition, he was nowhere to be found when Donald issued his final address as president at Joint Base Andrews, while Trump's other children, as well as Melania Trump, were there to witness it. Meanwhile, Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner brought their children, and many of Donald's other grandchildren were present for the send-off. Although the situation sparked endless Home Alone jokes on Twitter, there might be a more serious reason for Barron's absence from these final public events. During Donald's impeachment inquiry, Professor Pamela Karlan, who teaches at Stanford University, made reference to his inappropriate uses of power and said,
"So while the president can name his son Barron, he can't make him a Baron."
Obviously, Melania was all over this and snapped back on Twitter. "A minor child deserves privacy and should be kept out of politics. Pamela Karlan, you should be ashamed of your very angry and obviously biased public pandering and using a child to do it." Others from both parties were against the comment, and it seems like a plausible connection that, following Karlan's remark, Barron was kept away from the public. Barron Trump finally got a chance to get out of the public eye in January 2021, when he moved to Florida with Donald and Melania Trump. Barron's new school, Oxbridge Academy, is near the family's Mar-a-Lago resort and is located in Palm Beach. The school is ultra-luxurious, having been founded by business mogul William Koch, and costs $34,800 annually. Fortunately for Barron, the school also offers a huge athletic program, so he's got it made in the shade. It even has a flight simulator, so he will be entertained for sure. Not only was the transition an adjustment for Barron, who went from attending school in New York City to St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Potomac, Maryland, to a new school in Florida, it also required some adaptability on the part of Oxbridge Academy. As the Palm Beach Post reports, it's the first time the school had to accommodate the Secret Service for any of its students. The head of Oxbridge Academy, Ralph Maurer, said, "A small contingent of Secret Service agents will be present during each school day. We are working directly with the Secret Service to ensure that logistics and security work smoothly and discreetly with little impact on students, faculty, staff, or day-to-day operations." Height might be an odd thing to make headlines for, but Barron Trump went viral when he visited New York City in July 2021 for the simple fact that he got really tall. He and Melania Trump were photographed leaving Trump Tower, and the comparison of Barron next to his mother, who is 5'11", was striking. Donald Trump is 6'3". Barron now towers over all of Donald's older children, so they can't quite call him the baby of the family anymore. The details of the sighting of Barron and Melania together were every bit as luxurious as we've come to expect from the family. Barron was carrying his mother's Louis Vuitton X Richard Prince bag, which cost an estimated $3,995, while Melania carried an $11,000 Birkin bag. The Uber Facts Twitter account was all over the news and pointed out that Barron is well over a foot taller than the average 15-year-old. While some people were signing Barron up for the NBA, others followed the ongoing request to keep someone so young out of the spotlight. One Twitter user commented, "Maybe don't post pictures of underage kids, no matter who their parents are." The factoid is a talking point for Trump himself, though, who mentioned Barron's height at the North Carolina GOP convention in the summer of 2021. Clearly, he's come a long way from the little boy in the golden stroller.
The world was always going to know who Willow Smith was because of her famous parents, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. But rather than ride on the coattails of her parents' fame, she wanted to create her own path. Here are some of the ways Willow has transformed from a Hollywood child to a talented and insightful young woman. Growing up with famous parents was not something Willow wanted, nor was it something she found easy. She shared her thoughts on the topic in an interview with Girl Gaze, saying, "Growing up and trying to figure out your life while people feel like they have some sort of entitlement to know what's going on is absolutely excruciatingly terrible, and the only way to get over it is to go into it." She also feels as though this toxic environment can take its toll on mental health, saying, "I feel like most kids like me end up going down a spiral of depression, and the world is sitting there looking at them through their phones, laughing and making jokes and making memes at the crippling effect that this lifestyle has on the psyche." Willow explained that when you're born into celebrity, you only have two choices: embrace that world completely and try to, quote, help from the inside, or totally vanish from the spotlight. She added, "There's really no in-between." Maybe that's why, when asked where she sees herself in 10 years, Willow told Interview magazine in 2016, "I see myself in the mountains, somewhere in a tent. I want to retreat back to living off the land and just being in nature, experiencing life in the most pure, natural way possible." Don't confuse Willow for a millennial because she's from Generation Z and proud of it. This is the generation of kids who were born post-1995, and according to HuffPost, they make up 25.9% of the United States population. If you've ever wondered what it was like to be part of this generation, Willow has the answers, and according to her, it has its downsides. In her interview with Girl Gaze, she agreed with the general consensus that she and the other post-millennials are part of the most anxious generation. Some may think this anxiety is linked to a technological obsession, but Willow noted it's not quite as simple as that. She agreed that having access to any information at any time has repercussions, saying, "We look on our phones and we see people dying right next to us and we're sitting there about to go get a latte. It breaks you down." But then she added, "It's not just the phones. The phones are just a tool. The phones just heighten what was already happening." In an interview with People, Willow revealed that shaving her head back in 2012 was, in her words, the perfect way to rebel. She had realized that being a pop star wasn't the life she wanted, and, well, you can't whip your hair back and forth if you don't have hair, right? Sadly, cutting her hair didn't provide the relief she was seeking. Willow then started down a path of self-harm, looking for, quote, a physical release of all the intangible pain that's happening in your heart and in your mind.
I was experiencing so much emotional pain, but my physical circumstances were reflecting that.
But as she began reading up on science and spirituality, Willow had an epiphany of sorts. She explained, "I was like, this is pointless. My body is a temple, and I completely stopped. It seemed literally psychotic after a certain point because I had learned to see myself as worthy." This news came as a shock to Willow's mother and grandmother, she told the publication. In fact, for a long time, only one friend knew about it. She explained, "I never talk about it because it was such a short, weird point in my life." When Willow turned up for a 2016 interview with Teen Vogue, she did so wearing a cropped t-shirt with the statement, "Never underestimate the power of a woman." And according to her, truer words have never been written. Willow is incredibly passionate about women supporting each other. She explained that her shoot for the publication was special because it was the first time that she had ever been shot by a female photographer. Upon meeting each other, the publication notes how Willow reacted with excitement and exclaimed, "This is so cool. I've never been shot by a woman before. Not for anything this major. There is such a need for more female photographers, physicists, astronauts, doctors." Teen Vogue revealed that Willow's favorite topic of conversation is how the tide is turning in many spaces where young women and people of color are underrepresented. The idea that girls should like pink and boys should like blue is outdated, and Willow chose to remind everyone of this in an interview with Refinery29, saying, "I'm a black female in the 21st century. My favorite color isn't pink, it's black." That's not the only thing that she feels sets her apart from the norm, and many find her progressive approach on this topic to be refreshing. She said, "I'm not obsessed with getting married or having kids. Gender norms put people in boxes and don't allow them to really get to their full potential as a human being. Slowly but surely, dudes are starting to wear nail polish and become more in tune with their feelings. Change is happening and it's very exciting." She credited her open-minded and out-of-the-box perspective to her mom, Jada, explaining, "When she was younger, she was all about reforming the paradigms." Whether she asked for it or not, Willow's parents' fame gave her a platform, and she could either ignore it or embrace it. She chose to do the latter, and she's been using her voice and image as a powerful tool to inspire young women. When Willow was 15, she was invited by French fashion house Chanel to be one of their ambassadors. It's a role that Willow took seriously because even back then, she understood that, in her words, it's not every day that a 15-year-old black girl with dreads gets elected to be the Chanel ambassador. She told The Telegraph she realizes the importance of being a role model for those who are not represented by the media, saying, "I know a lot of girls that look like me feel that they're not beautiful and feel like they don't have a place in the media or a place in the world. I want them to know that's not true. And if you're confident and you love yourself, then everything you see, your perception will start to change and you'll see things differently." There's nothing average about Willow Smith. She has a unique approach to the world. She knows this and embraces it, and she made sure the world knows it as well in an interview with The Fader, saying, "I've just been doing so much growing up. I'm really just becoming a woman. Damn, I'm really a woman. Seeing how my thought processes have changed over the years and how my observations get keener. Everything is getting more clear, but also I'm starting to see the spectrum of life in such a new way. It's so gray and uncomfortable and joyous. It's the first time I'm seeing life and experiencing relating to human beings in a completely different way." Willow told the publication that as she grew into her later teen years, she started to understand the difference between authenticity and image management on social media. She noted that there's often a discrepancy between the words we say and our actions. Although still a teen, she had already spent a lot of time philosophizing about deep subjects like love and identity. Willow thinks a lot about love and relationships. Her approach to love is interesting. She believes in giving your partner complete and utter freedom. She explained to The Fader that letting your insecurities take over can ruin any relationship, whether it's friendship or romantic love. She explained how insecurities can make you act in a way that isn't out of love, but rather out of fear, saying, "As much as we want to hold on to these people, love and relationships you have to enjoy and release." Smith went on to explain how holding on too tightly can harm relationships, adding, "Let things go where they need to go. Don't hold on, because when you hold on, you kill love. As soon as you say, 'This is mine,' or 'This is my boyfriend,' or 'This is my girlfriend,' you've massacred your real relationships."
Wise beyond her years?
Yeah.
Although Willow had a tumultuous relationship with fame early on, she didn't stop making and recording music. In 2015, she released her first album, Ardipithecus. The singer explained the meaning behind her album's title when speaking to The Fader, saying, "Ardipithecus rhamidus is the scientific name of the first hominid bones found on Earth. I wanted to name my musical compilation after it because while I was making these songs, I was in such a transitional state." 2 years later, Willow dropped another album, this time entitled The First, which she described to W Magazine as the emotional regurgitation from the depths of a burgeoning woman. Then in 2019, she released the self-titled album Willow. In a review of the album, NME described it as a mellow and melodic blend of psychedelic folk and dreamy R&B built around gentle guitar strums and a few jagged riffs. The publication also said the album is, quote, "proof that Willow's talented enough to stand apart from her dynastic family. Just as Willow herself has changed since releasing her debut single, her subsequent songs are vastly different from the pop hit Whip My Hair."
I don't want to put out like a thing that I want like the world to see me as, because it's like everyone's going to see me as what they want to see me, and like everyone is just a projection in a mirror.
In 2018, Willow became a co-host on Red Table Talk, a Facebook-based talk show that has since become #1 on the social media platform and boasts over 300 million views according to Deadline. Willow shares the table, which is actually Red, with fellow co-hosts Mom Jada and Gammy Adrienne Banfield Norris. It was Willow's mother who, after doing some, quote, interior work, came up with the idea for the talk show. Jada told NPR, "And I just realized that in part of my growth, the women and the people who had the courage to be very transparent with me with certain aspects of their journey really helped my journey tremendously. I was like, why don't we talk about this more often? Why is it such a secret of what people go through?" And so she created a deeply personal, multi-generational safe space in which no topic is off limits. According to Jada, the talk show has even provided her an opportunity to learn more about her daughter, particularly as it pertains to her past struggles. By the time Willow turned 19 years old, she had secured her role as a co-host on a wildly popular talk show, released 3 albums plus multiple singles and EPs, and announced a co-headlining tour with her brother, Jaden Smith. Those are all things to celebrate for sure, but her parents are proud of their daughter for different reasons. In an Instagram post on her daughter's 19th birthday, Jada revealed, "What a powerhouse you are in all your precious gentleness and blooming heart. I'm so proud of the woman you are becoming, and it is my joy in learning how to love you and honor you more and more every day." In his own heartfelt heartfelt social media post, Willow's dad wrote to his daughter, "You taught me what it really means to love somebody. You taught me to let go of my dreams, demands of what you could, should be, and to trust, surrender to your personal visions for your life. It has been an awe-inspiring pleasure watching you blossom." No, we're not crying. You're crying.
Shiloh-Jolie Pitt is known for sporting an edgy style while attending red carpet premieres with her famous parents. But it wasn't always that way. Shiloh-Jolie Pitt came into the world with a bang. When she was born, her parents were probably the hottest couple in Hollywood, and as their first biological child, the world was eagerly awaiting her arrival. On May 27, 2006, Shiloh was born at the Cottage Medi Clinic in Namibia, a long way away from the luxurious parts of LA she would soon call home. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie opted to give birth in Namibia because of Jolie's deep love for the beautiful country. Jolie's LA-based obstetrician flew to Namibia to assist in the delivery. The then couple's respective families also joined them shortly after the birth. Shiloh was adored by her family right off the bat.
What's better, when Brad is working and you're with the kids?
Yes.
Or when you're working and Brad is with the kids?
When I'm home with the kids.
Shiloh-Jolie Pitt may have grown up in her parents' shadow, but she has always been her own person. For years, she was distinguishable from her siblings by her apparent preference for dressing in traditionally masculine clothes. It may have raised a few eyebrows, but Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have been nothing if not supportive of her choices. According to her parents, she's had a very defined sense of style from an early age. Jolie told Reuters in 2010, "I think she is fascinating, the choices she is making. And I would never be the kind of parent to force somebody to be something they are not. I think that is just bad parenting. Society always has something to learn when it comes to the way we judge each other, label each other." After 11 years together, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie decided to go their separate ways in 2016. As far as Hollywood divorces go, this one was exceptionally messy. Jolie alleged that Pitt was abusive, which led to a years-long custody battle. Shiloh was particularly hurt by the divorce. A source told Star magazine, "She's the most sensitive of all the kids, and she's definitely the most upset by the divorce. It's been 2 years and she is still struggling. It's been one upheaval after another." Brad and Angie say they want what's best for the kids, but they're both too stubborn to let the small things go. Around the same time, insiders alleged that Shiloh was furious with her mother for the divorce and had plans to write a tell-all memoir about the events. A source told Women's Day, "Shiloh's tell-all is likely to shed light on Angie's erratic behavior since the split, details of her and Brad's fiery rows, and her and her siblings' own breakdowns." It's important to note that the rumors are just that, rumors, and 4 years later, no book has materialized. Shiloh-Jolie Pitt and her dad Brad Pitt have always been close, even in the wake of her parents' divorce. Though things were tough when Pitt and Angelina Jolie split, the actor has reportedly worked hard to make sure he and Shiloh stay close. For her 14th birthday, he threw her a lavish pizza party in LA. Pitt was also moved to make the party extra special because he knew how hard the pandemic had been on Shiloh. He reportedly organized a special present for her big day. A source told the US Sun, "One of Brad's film editor pals put together a video of messages from her family and friends all over the world, some of whom she hadn't seen in a while due to the pandemic. To top it all off, Pitt gave her a fancy Polaroid camera to inspire her budding photography hobby." According to sources, Jolie also had a birthday party for Shiloh, though it was more toned down and virtual. Shiloh-Jolie Pitt has changed a lot over the years. When she was a child, she seemed to be uninterested in celebrity and was even a little camera shy. As she's grown older, though, she started to blossom into an impressive young lady. A source close to the family told OK, "She's really come out of her shell these last couple of years. Shiloh blows people away with how smart she is. She knows a ton about art and architecture from her dad and is versed in humanitarian issues thanks to her mom. There's a maturity to her that just draws people in." To go with her new mature vibe, the 15-year-old has upgraded her style as well. For most of her life, Shiloh was a well-known tomboy and was often spotted in cargo pants or shorts and sported a cool cropped haircut. As she's gotten older, however, her style has evolved to be more confident and a bit more feminine. She's grown out her hair and has been spotted wearing ripped jeans and hoodies to premieres and out and about in LA. While she's still on the tomboyish side, she doesn't seem too concerned with fitting into one particular box. Instead, content to explore her identity like a traditional teenager. Shiloh-Jolie Pitt has taken her fashion game to the next level, thanks to a little help from her mom. At the 2021 UK premiere of Eternals, Shiloh sported a black and white Dior dress on the red carpet. Apparently, when it comes to dressing up, the teenager turns to her mom for advice. The dress in question was actually a piece owned by Jolie, who lent it to Shiloh for the occasion. When Shiloh asked if she could borrow the stunning floor-length gown, Jolie agreed and even let her alter it to a shorter, more casual length.
So when you're a mom and it's their turn, right? It's their turn. And you say, oh, she looks so much better than I did.
It wasn't the first time Shiloh nabbed her mom's clothes either. Just a week before that UK premiere, Shiloh attended the LA screening of the film, this time in her mom's old Gabriella Hearst dress. Her siblings were also there and were equally well dressed. Fans noted that the then 14-year-old looked quite different from the little girl in cargo shorts they'd become accustomed to. Jolie explained at the event, "My kids are all mixed with vintage and in my old Oscars dress. We did all vintage and upcycled my old stuff. One thing's for certain, whether Shiloh's borrowing clothes from her mom's closet or rocking a simple hoodie and jeans, she's a beautiful girl, inside and out."
From the time she swallowed a tooth in front of Oprah to dancing to sell grass food in a Super Bowl ad, Ella Travolta's life has basically never been normal. CBS News notes that Kelly Preston and John Travolta wed in 1991 after meeting on the set of the 1989 movie The Experts. Preston said on the Montel Williams Show in 2003 that fellow Scientologist Kirstie Alley deserves some credit for their relationship because of a creative seating arrangement at a party.
She always wanted us together, so she sat us next to each other at the table.
By the end of the night, Preston and Travolta were dating. Scientology also played a major role in the home birth of Ella Blue Travolta in 2000. Preston explained to Today in 2011 that she attempted to have a Scientology-approved silent birth, which requires avoiding speaking during childbirth. But this was no easy feat by the time she reached her 13th hour of labor. She told Redbook, "It got hardcore at the end because Ella was so big." The Chicago Tribune explains that the Church of Scientology also cautions pregnant women against using painkillers during childbirth, believing both drugs and noise to have traumatic effects on babies. However, Preston admitted that she did eventually beg to be taken to the hospital to get an epidural, but it was too late at that point. According to Preston, her husband was hands-on during Ella's arrival. She told Redbook, "We pulled her out together and laid her on my chest." Despite her relatively quiet entry into the world, Ella Travolta turned out to be quite the talker. In a 2001 interview with SF Gate, John Travolta bragged about his daughter having a vocabulary of around 100 words when she was just 18 months old, including the Italian word ciao. She also met a lot of very famous people, of course. In a 2019 appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Ella described her awkward encounter with Oprah Winfrey.
"I actually lost my first tooth with Oprah on a boat. I think I swallowed the tooth.
You swallowed the tooth?
Maybe, so that might have not been so good, but..."
Luckily, the Tooth Fairy made sure that she still got paid. Ella wasn't just meeting stars as a child, she was preparing to be one herself. She told People, "Since I was very little, I've loved performing, singing, dancing, and putting on shows at home for my family and friends." She revealed that she and her pals had their own stage to perform on at her parents' home in Maine, and they were a rather creative bunch who came up with their own original idea for a show, The Real Housewives of Maine. John Travolta recalled in a 2007 appearance on Oprah that a 6-year-old Ella asked a year earlier, "When am I going to do a movie with you?" Ella's interest in acting came at the perfect time. Not long after she spoke to her dad about it, he read the script for the Disney movie Old Dogs. Kelly Preston joined her husband and daughter in the cast, and she was impressed with how at ease Ella was in front of the camera, telling Access, "She was amazing. She loved it." Ella was 7 years old when she began shooting the movie with her parents, and she was 9 when Old Dogs hit theaters in 2009. Sadly, Ella's older brother Jet died just a few months before the movie premiere. According to The Guardian, Jet suffered a fatal seizure while the Travoltas were vacationing in the Bahamas. Even though they were grieving, the Travoltas attended the movie's premiere together. John told USA Today, "We decided it was okay to come out and promote, to introduce Ella to the world, and to give her a beautiful future in film." Ella Travolta wasn't ready to jump right into another project after the family finished filming Old Dogs. Her mom, Kelly Preston, told Access. Afterwards, she said, "I think I'm gonna take a year off, have a little break." In a 2019 interview with KTLA-5, Ella explained that she wanted to complete school before acting again, but this didn't mean that she stopped rubbing elbows with celebs. When she appeared on The Ellen DeGeneres Show in 2009, Ella confessed to being a major Twilight fan, so much so that she couldn't choose between Team Edward and Team Jacob. But she was firmly on Team Jacob when she learned that Taylor Lautner was going to drop by her house in 2010. Ahead of the visit, Ella and her friends did some research on Lautner and his family, who were joining the actor. John Travolta made a typical embarrassing dad move when the group arrived.
The thing he says to them is, "Oh, Ella was just looking you guys up on the internet."
Her dad didn't see anything wrong with his actions. He said that he thought Lautner would be flattered by the internet stalking. A decade after she made her big screen debut, Ella Travolta decided to get back into acting. She found herself sharing the screen with her famous father again, and their roles called for them to return to the era of John Travolta's heyday of the 1970s. In the 2019 movie The Poison Rose, he played a detective investigating a murder, not a disco king. As for Ella's role,
So I play the wife of a college football player who gets murdered, and I'm the prime suspect.
there was also a big plot twist. John explained to Extra, "She plays my daughter, but I don't know she's my daughter. Although I look at her and she looks just like me, so it's going to be hard to play that." The star-studded cast also included Brendan Fraser, Morgan Freeman, and Famke Janssen. Ella told KTLA-5 that one positive aspect of working with her dad was that the two of them could practice their lines together at home, so they were better prepared to shoot their scenes.
Definitely. I mean, it's so fun to have this as the family business and all get to do it together.
The Travolta family suffered another tragic loss in July 2020 when Kelly Preston died from breast cancer. John Travolta shared the sad news on Instagram, revealing that Preston had the disease for 2 years and had been undergoing treatment at MD Anderson Cancer Center. He wrote, "I will be taking some time to be there for my children who have lost their mother, so forgive me in advance if you don't hear from us for a while." Ella Travolta also paid tribute to her mother on Instagram, writing in part, "I have never met anyone as courageous, strong, beautiful, and loving as you. Anyone who is lucky enough to have known you or to have ever been in your presence will agree that you have a glow and a light that never ceases to shine, and that makes anyone around you feel instantly happy." She also thanked her mom for everything she'd done for her. A month later, John shared a video of himself and his daughter paying homage to Preston in a poignant way. The actor explained that Preston loved to dance, so Ella honored her mother's memory by sharing a bittersweet dance with him. Ella had a smile on her face that appeared to waver a bit as John twirled her around. An insider described Ella's relationship with her mother to Us Weekly, saying, "Ella and Kelly were best friends and inseparable." After taking some time to grieve Kelly Preston's death, Ella Travolta and her dad stepped back into the spotlight together. In February 2021, John Travolta busted out some of his Grease moves for a Super Bowl ad with Ella. Instead of doing the hand jive in a high school gym, they promoted Miracle-Gro by performing the 50s-era dance on a lush green lawn. And rather than play the role of partner stealer Cha-Cha Di Gregorio, their co-star Martha Stewart admired John from afar, declaring,
"He still got it."
Ella later gushed about how much fun she had shooting the ad, telling people, "Each year, I always look forward to watching the Super Bowl and all of the great commercials. When Scott's Miracle-Gro offered my dad and I this opportunity, I was overjoyed to share this amazing experience, not to mention dance together." At that point, Ella had only appeared on screen with her dad, but that changed just a few weeks later when Deadline announced that she had signed on for her first film role without her father as a co-star. Ella landed a lead part in Get Lost, a fresh take on the beloved children's classic Alice in Wonderland. The movie reimagines the title character as a backpacker in Budapest who goes on a fantastical journey. On Instagram, John shared a photo of his daughter in costume and wrote, "I'm a very proud dad." Ella Travolta proved that she has more than her acting talent in common with her dad when she decided to pursue a career in music too. John Travolta hit his musical peak in the 70s thanks in part to his contributions to the Grease soundtrack, which included his chart topper with co-star, the late Olivia Newton-John, "You're the One That I Want." In 2021, Ella showed off her own singing skills on Instagram and TikTok, teasing that she was working on an EP. She also played the piano in a short video clip, and that snippet was enough to win her an instant fan following. One commenter wrote, "You are extremely talented. I enjoyed this song and can't wait to hear the rest of it." On January 6, 2022, Ella dropped her debut single Dizzy, and her supportive dad helped her promote it by appearing in a video with her and mouthing a few of the song's lyrics. He was rewarded with a big smile and a kiss on the cheek. Ella wrote on Instagram, "It's been a long time coming, but I'm still that 14-year-old weird girl at heart, and I love it. It looks like she'll also always be a daddy's girl, and we're guessing John wouldn't have it any other way." He told people, "Ella is gracious, generous, poised, graceful, and gorgeous. I don't know how she came to be, and I don't take any credit other than just adoring her."
When you're as famous as Adam Sandler, it's almost impossible to keep your children out of the spotlight. As they've gotten older, sisters Sunny and Sadie Sandler have really come into their own as performers. With the arrival of his daughter Sadie Madison Sandler in 2006, Big Daddy star Adam Sandler landed a lead role in the comedy of errors that is Fatherhood. 2 years later, he reprised the role when Sandler and his wife Jackie welcomed baby number 2, another daughter they named Sunny Madeline Sandler. In a 2008 appearance on Live with Regis and Kelly, Adam recounted how Sadie helped surprise him with the news that another baby was on the way. She'd stayed up past her bedtime to give her dad a wrapped gift, and to the great surprise of the actor, it turned out to be a positive pregnancy test. We'll just assume that Adam's daughters didn't get to watch that Billy Madison scene about how cool it is to pee your pants until they were old enough to know better. But apparently, pants wetting wasn't his biggest parenting concern during the girls' early years. Sandler said in a press conference, "The idea of my kids being spoiled, I go to sleep thinking about it and I wake up thinking about it." However, that mentality didn't stop Adam from raising his daughters to be big benefactors of nepotism. They've gone on to start entertainment careers of their own. Sadie Sandler has quite the list of acting credits, beginning with an uncredited role as Girl Riding on Goat in her dad's 2008 comedy You Don't Mess with the Zohan. She appeared alongside her sister in 2010's Grown Ups, with their real mother even playing their on-screen mom. Sandler has continued to keep casting in the family, and his daughters have appeared in over a dozen of his films in various roles. As teens, Sadie and Sunny got the opportunity to play siblings again when their dad's production company, Happy Madison, decided to adapt Fiona Rosenblum's novel You Were So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah for Netflix. This time, Sunny wasn't just offered a small cameo, but a starring role as Stacy Friedman, a middle schooler who was excited about planning the perfect bat mitzvah. That is, until her best friend Lydia betrays her in a big way by dating Stacy's longtime crush Andy, played by Dylan Hoffman. With Sadie playing Stacy's older sister Ronnie, it was only natural for Adam to cast himself as the girl's father. The film boasts an impressive roster of co-stars for the Sandler daughters, including Idina Menzel, Sarah Sherman, and Jackie Hoffman.
How often does that happen?
In an interview with Tudum, director Sammy Cohen praised Sunny's performance, saying, "She's got this incredible free-spirited nature, a natural silliness that elicits moments of charming vulnerability. Sunny Sandler has grown up so much since being nominated for the Choice Celebrity Baby category at the 2019 Choice Awards. Little did she know, a nominee from another category that year would wind up attending her real bat mitzvah someday." Twilight star Taylor Lautner, winner of the 2009's Choice Movie Male Fresh Face Award, made the guest list. Lautner, who appeared alongside Adam Sandler in Grown Ups 2, was just one of many celebrities who showed up to celebrate the special occasion with Sunny in 2022. According to People, the guest list also included Jennifer Aniston and Peyton List, who have also worked with Adam before. The party also featured performances from heavy hitters like Halsey and Charlie Puth. Sammy Cohen told Tudum that the bash took place not long before the Sandler family started shooting You Were So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah together, so getting into filming felt like a big extension of the celebration. Luckily, Sadie didn't have to be jealous of her little sister's star-studded ceremony. Her own bat mitzvah was also the place to be in Hollywood when her parents went all out for her in 2019. On Conan, Adam and attendee Conan O'Brien gossiped about some of the guests, which included Dustin Hoffman, Chris Rock, and David Spade. However, it sounds like Adam scored the biggest points with Sadie by asking Maroon 5 singer Adam Levine to perform at the party.
Oh, she hugged me so much, my Sadie.